Hey, you guys, how are you? Happy Monday. I hope that Monday is treating you well. I hope that it's been productive. I hope that it's been peaceful. And I hope that isn't, if it has not, or it is not going so well for you, that it is almost over. Um, I think this is the first time I did one live last week while on vacation. First, thank you to everyone for all the birthday wishes. It was like I haven't even had a chance to go back and like or comment on so many of them. But I super appreciate all the birthday wishes, all of the surprise gift cards, cash apps, the donations to the grant fund that will be given to a minority woman owned business. That was like the biggest blessing, definitely, because at the Power Network, that's one of our key focuses for the year. And we were not able to have our annual Power 10 event that we usually have in February. And so still want to raise funds to be able to donate to women, to minority-owned businesses, and we award two each year, one to a nonprofit, one to a for-profit. But let's get into what I wanted to talk about today. First, just to keep it all the way 100, because y'all know that's what I do. It is Monday. On Mondays, I host a radio show, which I absolutely love, but I host it from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. So it requires me to get up before 5 a.m. so I can get to the station in time for and be prepared. It also requires me to, be prepared properly for whoever I'm interviewing. And then I'm very particular about the songs that I play. So just by this time on Monday, I'm fried. So I did not want to do a live video today. But one of the commitments that I made, so every year on my birthday, so last Monday was my birthday, it was a week ago, I make these commitments to myself on my birthday. A lot of people make resolutions or commitments to do things differently at the turn of the new year. I tend to become more reflective around my birthday because that to me signifies another year of life that I've been blessed to be here and to see, especially with so many people. I mean, gosh, at least 4 people under 40 I know of personally passed away this weekend, most due to COVID. One young man was shot in Chicago just randomly, and he was the nephew of a high school classmate. So just my prayers and condolences are with so many people. But I spend a lot of time reflecting on my birthday. And then, the fact that I got to do that on the beach last week made it even better. So one of the things I was thinking about, so I reflect in segments. I reflect personally, what are my personal goals that I want to achieve before my next birthday? Like personally, what do I want to do? So for me personally, I want to be healthier. And hey, Pastor Dana. So for me personally, I want to be healthier. And what that means for me is I've had surgeries in the past. There was a tumor in my chest a few years ago. I've got some nerve damage because of that. Around that same time, I was diagnosed with high blood pressure. So there's 2 blood pressure pills that I take a day. I tend to internalize stress. And so, there's some areas of my hair that used to be a lot thicker than they are now. And I know that comes with age. And hey, Kalisa. And so, just the goal is to be healthier. And, I think that it'd be a powerful thing, using that word on purpose, pun intended, to not just be powerful, intellectually speaking, and powerful as it relates to being successful in business, but how dope will it be when y'all see me with a 6-pack? I might not get to 6, it might be like 3 or 2, but if I get to 1, like, yo, I need y'all to be like, hey. So yeah, just to be healthy and to live longer, because at the end of the day, I can't take care of anyone else if I don't take care of myself. And I had reached a wall last year that I was so concerned and consumed with the business and the care and keeping of friends and family and the kids and Wes and so many other people that I left very little room to take care of me. And really, a majority of my time was spent either working or feeling obligated to do what someone else required of me. And so that's not a odd trait for women. It is especially not an odd trait for Black women. It is especially not an odd trait for Black female entrepreneurs who make it to a certain space because you feel like you feel like, okay, I'm here. And it goes back to that talk of the double burden of you're a woman and you're Black. So you got to work harder. You got to start earlier. You got to stay later. You got to run faster. You got to implement even better. Everything has to be in excellence. And that's why I said this year I'm breaking up with perfection, not excellence. Everything will still be delivered in excellence. But I'm not perfect. I'm human. And I'm going to be okay with my humanity this year. And so, that's the first thing. And so I just spent the last 40 minutes between Zoom calls bagging up my smoothies for the next week to make sure that they are cared for, because that's the other thing too. So didn't have time to eat healthy, didn't have time to exercise, but y'all know I made time to keep this hair done. I made time to keep these eyebrows done. Look, I made time to make sure these lashes stay on fleek. And so it's like sometimes we can have our priorities so backwards. And the thing is that it didn't, you can look as good as you want. You can be as slim as you want to be and be as unhealthy as possible. And so the thing is I'm looking at my nightstand and I'm looking at the medicine bottles next to them and I'm like, yo, this don't make no sense. I'm not even overweight. Like, this is ridiculous. And so that was the first thing. And so that was the first personal thing. So just the self-care, the eating better, the living just a healthier lifestyle period, mindset, increasing, my time for meditation, increasing the time I spend doing yoga, increasing the time that I spend in the gym. You guys, I have a gym in my building that I live in. And so I really don't have an excuse. Besides, y'all know I'm on Team Peloton. So, it's just really no excuse. And so my point in connecting that to me going live today is I didn't feel like it because like I said, I'm fried because I've already worked. I've already been up for so long. And at the end of the day, this live piece is what grew the Power Network. This is how it started. It started with me having a conversation and connecting with people. And from there, this past 5-year journey has grown. And to be honest with you, it's how I get bookings. It's usually how I get clients. People do business with who they know, like, and trust. It's how people get to know me. It's how they decide whether they like me and hopefully acquire some sense of trust as it relates to me. So that was the personal goal. Other personal goal is to have some boundaries as it relates to my work hours, to keep my weekend sacred. Of course, if there's an event or something that's contract away in advance, just the nature of my business sometimes requires that. But for the most part, just saying like, nope, can't do it. And being okay, no is a complete sentence. And, I've preached that for years, but I can't say that I've always lived it. And so, if I say no, no. Like, as my friend Unika J says, if it's not a hell yeah, it's a no. And also just, fitting in some fun. And so that's why, I know people looking at me crazy, like, girl, it's COVID. You on all these planes, trains, and automobiles. Well, I have just decided that COVID is everywhere. And I'm going to have on a mask. And hopefully I'll be qualified to get vaccinated soon, and my children. But in the meantime, and it's not to make light of it because I realize how serious it is. And for some people, it's just like, I'm not going out the house. I'm not playing these games. They've lost loved ones, et cetera, et cetera. And so I get it. I'm not. So please, please, please do not think I'm trying to diminish the seriousness of it. I said that I personally have made a decision that it was not going to stop our travel this year. And so we're definitely more mindful, more careful. following rules, et cetera, getting tested often, and making sure that we have safeguards in place. But we just like, we're going on vacation. And so, and even just doing that, like that was a point of self-care. So personal goals. Last one I would say is to find time to journal more. I got to interview this amazing woman this morning on my radio show named Charmel Cofield. Loved her story. Interviewed her. So she has been in the music industry for 2 decades, and she has written for Beyonce, Mary J. Blige, Kelly Rowland, Usher. She's written film scores. She's written for television. And she decided a few years ago to cut her own album, and to cut a gospel album at that, because that's where her roots are. And tomorrow, the season premiere of Queen Sugar debuts on OWN, this season's premiere. And they picked up one of her songs and chose it to be featured. It's called Trouble. So make sure you guys check that out. So, but there was just a resounding theme of how, because she started off in stage plays and vocal producing and vocal coaching. And then she was so good, and her work ethic was so dependable, and her integrity. And, she was speaking life into the individuals around her, and she wasn't cowering, and she was letting her power be known in a humble way. So many people, it's last night. So last night, a girlfriend took me to dinner for my birthday. She was in town. And the restaurant we were at, the singer Tank happened to be there, and he's from Milwaukee. And so I'm looking, and me being Sean in marketing PR, like I notice stuff like that. So I'm looking, and I'm like, girl, I think that's Tank. And so she like, I was like, I really do think it's Tank. So I look over, and he looks, and he's trying to be low key. He with his family, he got a hat on. He's trying to be super low key. So I just make eye contact with him, and I just was like, wave, and so he waved back, and that was it. We were across the restaurant from one another. It's a large restaurant, and so I didn't want to blow up his spot or cause a big deal or anything. So next thing you know, I guess Tank started having a good time. He loosened up, and he started making his way with shots of drinks for the whole restaurant. And he had them on a tray, and he was hand delivering them. So at that point, he decided he wanted some attention. And so shout out to Casablanca, if Al or Nas or Rob or Vita or Shua or Tori or Chandler or Wes or Gang, or who else am I Facebook friends with on here? Kat, or any of you guys happen to be watching this, shout out to you guys, because I love you, and I appreciate, Selwyn, I appreciate how you guys treat us regulars that are in there. And so as he's up, spending all this money at this establishment, because I feel like these are my friends now that own this establishment and that manage it. I tell the manager, play a song, like I snap into PR mode. And so snap into PR mode, his song gets played, and his family goes crazy, like, oh my God. And so then the next thing you know, they're like, you have to get a picture with him. And so immediately, he like, we took the picture. He was on my live. We had a conversation. Of course, y'all know I slid my business card. And so anyway, but my point of sharing that story is it's about like being in rooms of greatness and letting your greatness show up as well. And so, I was real low key. It's about being hungry, not thirsty. But then he looked up and he looked back. Yeah, I'm talking about Tank. The singer, Maybe I Deserve, and When We, I can't say the explicit part. So when he looked back at the DJ booth and saw that his he is a happily married man. That he was not on the flirt at all. It was not like that. Don't be hating. But anyway, so when he looked back at the DJ booth and then saw me walking, he said, "Did you cause this to happen? Oh, he's your favorite. Aww." And he said, "Oh my God." He was like, "Who are you?" And I was like, I'm Olivia Dope. I'm just the Olivia Dope of Milwaukee. Like, that's what I do. And so I was like, I could be your publicist when you're here. I said, I'm sure you know some great publicists out in LA, but Just if you ever look for one that's from, the city, well, not from, but lives in the city that you're born in, holla at your girl. So shot my shot professionally. And so that is really what Charmel was talking about this morning about, just in every room she was in. And a lot of times in these, when she's as a songwriter, when she's writing a song or she's co-writing a song and she's being fed information, she's not told who she's writing it for. And next thing she knows, she's written a song for Beyonce, or she's written a song for Mary J. Blige, or she's written a song for Usher. And so the thing is just she just showed up great every single time, not knowing if it was going to some new artist, some indie artist, somebody that would never get played on the radio. And that's what we have to do. We have to show up. So one of my professional goals this year is to show up consistently, because I went live every single day and the business grew exponentially because of that. And I notice a lull in the business when I'm not connecting with you guys like this. And so it's about, if you know what to do and you don't do it, that doesn't make any sense. Like at the end of the day, I can post till I'm blue in the face and they cute and everything, the words and the quotes, and I can write. But this connection right here, this piece, as a matter of fact, that beautiful woman that I interviewed this morning sent me the dopest text. She said, your interview style is perfection. She said there was such an ease and such a comfort. She said your genuineness and your professionalism just shine through the phone. And I was so like, she done wrote songs for Beyonce. I just sit around and I'll be like, come on, God. Because, I meet so many amazing people, famous people in positions of power, that I'm blessed and humbled when they say things to me like that, because what it does is it confirms that I am on my path and that I am living my truth. And yesterday when we text, and she was like, is there anything I should prepare for? And this and that, because, I'm not a journalist. I didn't go to school for journalism. It is not my intention to be a journalist by any means. I never even knew that I would end up being a radio personality. Actually, these live videos kind of gave me the oomph to say, hey, I like to do that. And honestly, the station that I'm on, we started off in a relationship of what I normally do for people of marketing. And I said to them, if an opportunity ever presented itself for me to be on the radio, that's something that I think that I could be really good at. And they looked at me and said, well, do you have any radio experience? And I was like, no. Like, not at all. However, I do these live videos and they seem to go well. So I think that I could translate that skill, and I do large events. And so at the end of the day, I can talk. And it turns out that I do pretty well on the radio, and I'm thankful for that. And so my point is that consistency is at the top of my list this year, because there are times that I can let life get so busy, or I can get so consumed with what I'm working on for a client that I'm not consistent with my own brand. And at the end of the day, clients come and go, but I need the Power Network to continue to sustain and grow. And so I can't care more about their business than I care more about my own, just like I can't care more about other people than I care about myself. And so at the first, self-love, shout out to Love McPherson, you got to love self first. Like, that's like at the end of the day, it's the oxygen mask, metaphor that we all know. When you get on the plane, they say, if you traveling with someone who needs help or small children, put on your own oxygen mask before you, put on to help them with theirs, because you don't want to die trying to save their life. What would be the point of that? So I don't want my business and my brand to die because I'm focused on helping someone else build theirs so much. And yes, that's a big part of what I do here at the Power Network. And I'm not saying that I'm not going to continue to do that work, but what I'm saying is that I have to not let my brand fizzle out, because at the end of the day, that job will eventually be done, or that contract will eventually end. And if I'm not constantly refilling the funnel of new opportunities and new clients and connecting with the audience, then I may not have anything left. And I've actually been in that position before. The first year in business, I did it. And it was like, I was like, no, that won't happen again. We won't look up and only have one client. No. Because at the end of the day, if that's the case, I should have stayed at work. I should have kept my job. So that's the next lesson. The other thing that I put in the title of this is the barriers are gone. The barriers are gone. The barriers are gone. And so I spent some time reminding myself that the barriers are gone. And what that means is that, back in the day, advertising and marketing were pretty much the same thing, because the only way to market to the public was through traditional advertising, magazines, newspapers, television, billboard, radio. That was pretty much it. When I was young, we didn't know what was happening on the other side we didn't have the internet. We didn't know what was happening on the other side of the world. We didn't know, it was like, so every region had its thing. But now with the internet and with social media, you can go direct to your consumer. I can get on this platform and I can talk to people all over the country, and I can share my thoughts, and I can share what it is that I'm doing, and I can share the benefits that I can provide, and I can share how I can help you. And boom, I can share that $99 power hours. That's the other thing that came out of my self-reflection time of getting back to the basics of, I started this company because I wanted to be accessible to people and at a rate that was affordable to them when they were still in ideation mode, when they were still in startup mode, when this was still a sacrificial thing for them. And so that's why that $99 power hour is going to stay for the remainder of the year, instead of it just being a sale. And people were like, well, how can you do that? Boom, goes to the last point. The last point was that I said fallback plans are allowed. And so what that means is like, so many people take these huge leaps into entrepreneurship. They take these leaps of faith into doing things. And, some people do it and they just like, yo, I'm just gonna jump off this cliff and I'm gonna build the airplane on the way down. Well, we all really do that. But even an airplane has safety devices. It has things like your seat becomes a flotation device should it end up in some water. Oxygen mask drop down should you lose air pressure. If there, for some reason, you have to have some emergency landing, like there's an inflatable ramp so you can slide down in case you have to land somewhere where they can't get a ramp to you. And so why, if it's at all possible, would you not have those type of safety nets in your business? This is not to say, because I know there's a lot of memes out here that be like, there's only plan A, there's no plan B, C, D. It's 26 letters in the alphabet. And so the reason that I can offer a $99 power hour to a startup, an individual, a small, because that's who picks up on those things, is because I do have corporate clients. I do have clients that buy full strategic planning packages. I do have clients that hire me for marketing at a large scale. I do a large scale event planning that pays significantly. And so because of the funding of those things, I can afford to offer a $99 price point for a power hour. And so that is what's meant by fallback plan. Because at the end of, and hear what I'm saying, you have to assess, entrepreneur, the skill sets that you have. And so I'm an excellent speaker. Oh, sometimes I get booked to speak. I can write. Sometimes I get booked to write. I'm an excellent facilitator. I get booked to train quite often. I get booked to train on everything from diversity, equity, inclusion to strategic planning to vision mapping, because guess what? I'm a Six Sigma green belt. I am an engineer by education. I spent 20 years in corporate America. I am a sales and marketing leader, and I have more degrees, credentials, certifications, like there's so many. And so I can draw on those things in the business. I can draw on those skill sets to subsidize different things. I mean, really, I know that's one of the things that sustained me during the pivot of the pandemic. I was one of the firms in the city that was really agile and able to help individuals, or to partner with other companies to help individuals take their events virtual, and to make it a virtual experience versus just a Zoom call or something like that. And that is my technical education in action. That is my ability to know what resources that I need, understand the technology that's out there, the fact that I'm constantly researching, learning, understanding what's ever evolving in my particular market. And so there's studying involved and there's understanding. It also comes with having great partnerships. I have so many amazing subcontractors that I work with. And so I posted something the other day saying, you know, I'm not the expert. No, it was a comment. Someone asked, what makes you an expert? And you know, the blanket rule of thumb that they teach you in school is like, you know, 10,000 hours. And you know, if you look up the definition of expert, it says someone who has a specialized expertise or skill set in a certain area. And so to me, that's really, really, really critical. And then I know we live in this world of ageism. And I said, and also I'm not going to negate the 2 decades that I spent in corporate America. And so then I analogized it to Tom Brady winning the Super Bowl, because at the end of the day, that Buccaneers quarterback, he was the bomb. He young, he's smart. He had a phenomenal season, and people really thought he was about to take Tom Brady. You know, and I know some of y'all going, oh, it's the officials, it was this and that. No, Tom Brady had been to the Super Bowl 10 times, had won 7. You can take, he was so strategic. To me, watching that game, it was like he was reading their minds. It's like he knew which way they was going to run next. He knew what they was going to do. I mean, after you do something for so long, like, and if you do it at the level at which he did it and you do it really well, then how could you not be thinking ahead? Like, unless you're just sitting there with blinders on the whole time. But he was a champion. He is a champion. And so that being said, like, you don't reach championship status. And the other thing is like, you know, he had been with the Patriots for so long, and he got moved to the Buccaneers. I'm sorry. I meant the Chiefs quarterback was the young one. And he proved that, you know, because you can place a champion wherever, and champions gonna do what champions do, which is win. And so just wanted to share, like, there's no barriers on you sharing your message with the world, on you sharing your product or service with the world, on you sharing your expertise with the world. And so what's stopping you? Why aren't you consistent? Why aren't you disciplined? Why aren't you taking care of yourself? I'll say this: you don't want it bad enough. To quote the great Eric Thomas, when you want to be successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And you can Google that story, because it's a longer story than that, but I love it and it's inspiring. And at the end of the day, we can't not go comfortable on our past successes. I remember when I was still in corporate and I was in sales, and you know, you make a huge sale and it'd be all this rah-rah, and then it's like the next day it's like it didn't even happen, because you got to live to sell another day, is how we used to say it. And so at the end of the day, you have to live to grow your business another day. And it depends on what you want. Like, I'm focused on building a legacy that I can pass down to my children. I'm focused on, you know, I was reading the book called Believe It by the founder of It's Cosmetics, and, you know, reading about when L'Oreal bought her. And then I happened to stumble upon Lisa Price's story with Carol's daughter and when L'Oreal bought her. And I'm just like, you know, at the end of the day, like, either I'm trying to pass this down or I'm trying to grow it to a place that somebody give me a real, they slide an offer across the table. But in order to do that, it's going to take some scaling. It's going to take some focus. It's going to take some consistency. And it's going to take some real dedication to what it is that I do. And, you know, and the selling may not be of the Power Network, the marketing firm and business consulting firm. It may be more so of like when Oprah Winfrey got the offer when she was hosting Chicago Live, and she got the offer to have the Oprah Winfrey show. Like, it, you know, people tease me often. And not tease, but they say it in seriousness. And they're like, oh, you don't know Milwaukee's Oprah? Or like my mom used to walk around and be like, yes, I'm the next Oprah's daughter. And look, and there's a picture behind me with me and Oprah. So look, God don't be playing. And And so, to me, I consider it a huge compliment to the comparison, and especially having worked for her and under her, and she was my first paid client. I mean, like, look at God. However, the world already has an Oprah Winfrey, so I'm trying to rock out at being Chantel McKenzie, because at the end of the day, the resounding theme of the most successful people is they went out and they did their authentic thing, their authentic way. And so at the end of the day, I posted something yesterday about imposter syndrome, and, stop telling women that they have that. And, it's just a nice way of saying you're being phony. And it's really not, so basically, they try to say, well, it's because you don't believe you really deserve to be there. And you think, like, how did I get here? And so then I have to quote the great John Haynes, my business and executive coach, that says you have to go from why me to why not me to it is me. And until you get to that point that it is me, and you know who me is, like, I know who me, she, her is, like, I know me. I live me every day. I don't show up as any other person. Like, I am me in all facets of life. Like, I was the same on the radio this morning as I am on this live right now. When my kids get home, I'm gonna be the same me. Like, look, same old me. Who wrote that? Was that a Tupac song? I don't remember. And I was like, same OG. Look, y'all know, I told you I'm tired on Mondays. But anyway, I really hope that you guys got something out of this. I want to encourage anybody out there who is in need of coach or strategic planning to not miss the $99 Power Hours, because even though I do plan to have them and offer them all of 2021, my schedule do be kind of bananas. And so you got to get in where you fit in. And so in order to even get on the calendar, you do have to pay. And you can pay at via Cash App at #POWHER, POWHER, or at PayPal at paypal.me/PowHER Network. And so then once you do that, reach out, boom, we schedule it, and it lays the foundation. And, a lot of times people are like, what to expect? What should I prepare? It's really about, you should come prepared with whatever thoughts you need to have and whatever you need to have written down to maximize the hour, because we can't change your life in an hour. But if you come prepared with what it is that you're intending or endeavoring to do, we can lay a foundation that will get you focused. I mean, people have come out of these having published books. They've come out of them having grown Facebook and pages and groups. They've come out of these getting national contracts and so many things. And so I know the Power Hour works. You can't beat the price. Nobody doing it. No, that's a group coaching price, and you get that all by yourself, personalized to you. There's also class. I have a class coming up this Saturday. It is my Brand Builder Bootcamp class. And I haven't taught this full class since last year. And there's so much new information. And so that class is $199. And you can go to powernetwork.org if you want to learn more about that. And yeah, so look to get back to seeing me more, doing more interviews again with individuals during these Power Talks, and just, hold me accountable, y'all. We all need accountability partners. We all need goals, and we all need plans to make those goals actual things that are real and tangible in our lives. And we need them to be qualitative, not just qualitative, but also quantitative. And so you want to make sure they're SMART goals. There's a whole nother class. So anyway, you guys have a great day, great rest of your day. And I appreciate anybody that's going to watch the replay, because I know that I went live at 3:20 on a Monday, which is like one of the absolute worst times you can go on the internet, because people are either finishing up their work day or finishing up their kids' school day or picking up kids from school. So there is a method to the madness, but hopefully some people will watch the replay. And yeah, you guys have peace, love, and power tonight. Bye.